The race for governor is in full swing. We'll give you updates and candidate rally details. Oklahoma's early voting opens up tomorrow. Find out how lawmakers are countering long lines. And OU's beautiful moms on campus are at its peak season. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Addie Crawford.
And I'm Stone Weber. Elections are right around the corner, and early voting is a convenient option for many Oklahomans. We begin tonight on how early voting is being made more accessible. OU Nightly's Austin Pratt is live with more details.
Thanks, guys. Roughly 48,000 Cleveland County residents will participate in early voting this year, a process that starts tomorrow for voters in Oklahoma. To counter the long lines on Election Day, Oklahoma lawmakers have made early voting more accessible.
The state legislature added an extra day of voting this year that we haven't had in the past. Normally our voting days on a state or federal election are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. New law went into effect, so now we will be voting on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
With early voting and mail-in ballots available, it's easy to avoid those long Election Day lines.
It's a lot easier, faster process than on Election Day in the polling places because we have more people taking care of the voters. We can look voters up a lot faster on a computer instead of going through a book.
Early voting on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is from 8 to 6, and on Saturday is from 8 to 2.
And in Cleveland County, we have 2 voting locations. We vote early next door to the county office building in the fairgrounds, and then we also vote at Moore Norman Tech Center.
All registered voters can vote early. They simply need to show up to a voting location with ID. Reporting live, Austin Pratt, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Austin. On the eve of early voting, candidates are ramping up their campaigns. Tonight, Republican incumbent Governor Kevin Stitt will appear at the Red Wave rally at Crossroads Church in South Oklahoma City. He'll be joined by Texas Congressman Ted Cruz. And early this morning, Democrat Joy Hoffmeister kicked off her hometown bus tour. She says she plans to make 50 stops in 27 Oklahoma counties. OU Nightly will be at Governor Stitt's rally tonight. Several endorsements coming in for both candidates. Former Republican Congressman J.C. Watts has endorsed Democrat Hoffmeister, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is showing support for Kevin Stitt.
And as Oklahomans gear up for those early voting lines this week, some may need an umbrella.
The question is, which day for the sunshine and which day is for rain? Brayden Siau joins us now with the first look at the forecast. Brayden?
Yeah, guys, but before we have any of those storms move through the state, we're dealing with a beautiful day across Oklahoma right now. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s for much of us, even approaching 80 in some portions of the state. And these warmer temperatures will continue for the next several days before this storm system pushes through later this week, bringing the chance for rain and even some severe weather. So guys, those umbrellas will definitely come in handy later on this week. Back over to you.
Thanks, Brayden. Another election is happening today and tomorrow right here on campus. The Student Government Association is holding a race for president and vice president. OU Nightly's Roddy spoke to the candidates to learn what their platforms were all about. She joins us live from the Student Union with the story. Bella?
Yeah, Addie, both teams running for SGA offices answered some pretty hard-hitting questions, but fired right back at each other here at the debate last week.
Mixed emotions after some heated words.
We hope you come along with us on this journey to bring our campus forward and far. Thank you.
You can't even think about going far if you have no will to put in the work on solving the issues right in front of you.
Ahead of elections this week, the SGA president and vice president candidates faced off in a debate, and both parties discussed their platforms and solutions to issues on campus. Running mates Beth Felkner and Carson Papour discussed tuition increase transparency,
administration still sprung a surprise tuition increase this summer,
and equitable education opportunities.
Ensuring all students can access the spaces and resources necessary for academic achievement.
While Emily Schultz and Chris Furch focused on international student equity.
We have to provide equal job opportunities for all students, regardless of where they are from.
And bringing back a sexual assault prevention program focused on educating students on consent. With OU taking little action, less students are reporting cases. Both parties with different approaches.
I think, unfortunately, the reality is that as long as rapists exist, like, rape and sexual assault are going to happen.
Changing societal attitudes and attitudes of sexual assault on campus, I think there's a stigma behind talking about it, and there's also a lack of education for consent. And once again, that's not an excuse.
But the importance of voting remains, and the outcome of the election is in the hands of the students.
Voting opened this morning but closes tomorrow at 9 p.m. And if you want to vote, all you have to do is go to elections.ou.edu on your phone or laptop and sign in using your 4x4. Reporting live, Bella, Roddy, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Bella. The U.S. Supreme Court is set to decide on a ruling that could affect future college students. Donovan England has that and the rest of today's national headlines from the News Center. Donovan?
Yes, Stone, the Supreme Court has yet to decide whether colleges and universities will continue affirmative action, a decision that will likely overturn decades worth of precedent, allowing students of diverse communities and backgrounds to express their racial identity in college admissions. With a 6-3 conservative liberal majority, the question may not be if the court will rule, but how far it will rule. Former President Donald Trump might be the testifying under oath on the Capitol breach. This as the January 6th committee is discussing it with his attorneys. According to Vice Chairwoman Liz Cheney, Trump has until Friday to respond to the committee's subpoena for documents, and November 14th for testifying under oath regarding the Capitol breach. Trump remains the central figure in the plan to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. And across the nation, for some, Halloween ended in violence. Police in Chicago are investigating a drive-by shooting that left 14 people injured. In Kansas City, 6 injured and 1 killed at a Halloween house party. And in Texas, Takeoff, the 28-year-old member of the famed rap group Migos, was shot and killed early this morning in downtown Houston. Stone and Addie, right now police do not know who killed him.
Definitely some unfortunate and sad news. Prices at the gas pump affect us all. With the colder weather months approaching, you could be seeing changes.
Coming up, hear what an expert says we can expect when it comes to filling up this winter.
And the popular education site Chegg is coming under fire.
Find out why after the break.
You may have noticed a drop in gas prices compared to just a few months ago, but experts are saying that might quickly change here in Oklahoma. The prices are impacted by global issues, inflation, and weather. The Russia-Ukraine war is leading the U.S. to export more natural gas and gasoline and to expect a rise during the winter months.
I would say that we're probably going to see higher gasoline and higher natural gas prices during the winter.
McConnell says he still believes supply and demand is going to be the reason for increases in these prices.
A data breach exposes millions of students' personal information. Summer Miller has that and more in Science and Technology.
For 40 million students who use Chegg, their personal information might have been exposed. The Federal Trade Commission coming out today saying the company failed to fix security issues. That information exposed could include social security numbers, emails, or passwords. The FTC is now asking the company to tighten their security. New information from the Treasury Department showing that banks spent at least $1 billion in ransomware-related payments in 2021. The data reveals that basically double the amount from 2020. That increase could be that banks are getting better at reporting the payments, but either way, hacking is a big national security issue. Who doesn't want that blue check mark on Twitter? But now that honor might come with a bill. Elon Musk coming out today saying he has plans to charge users $8 for the Twitter Blue, and anyone willing to pay that can have that check mark. Right now, it's unclear if already verified users are exempt from paying. Okay, switching gears from Twitter, let's talk about UFOs. Stone, Addie, Congress will soon receive a classified report from intelligence agencies that could answer some of those alien questions we all want to hear about.
Looking forward to hearing about some UFOs.
That sounds very interesting.
Definitely. Thanks, Summer. OU's campus is getting a bit of a makeover.
Stay tuned to hear what upgrades are being made to OU's signature mums.
And with those beautiful mums, I'm sure some rain wouldn't hurt. Brayden, what about that weather? Can we expect some showers?
Yeah, coming up this week, we will definitely be talking about some showers and thunderstorms. But right now, beautiful temperatures, and I'll have more on this storm system coming up. Welcome back to OU Nightly, and as you can see across the state right now, temperatures are very mild, about 5 to 10 degrees above where we should be this time of year, even approaching 80 degrees in some locations. Now, this is due in part to this southerly flow that we have coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, which is going to help fuel these storms that we're going to be talking about later this week. But as you can see, even up here in northwestern Oklahoma, we're talking about wind gusts almost to 30 miles per hour, so definitely a bit breezy out there. And now Futurecast shows as we head through the next couple of days, especially by Thursday afternoon, a few scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely here in northwestern portions of the state. And these will continue as we head into the overnight hours and into the day on Friday. And that's why we have a slight risk for severe weather here across northwestern portions of the state, as a few severe thunderstorms are possible. And then looking at the Futurecast as we head into the day on Friday, this storm system pushes further east into the central portion of the state before pushing out by Friday evening. And we also have a slight risk for severe weather here across central and eastern Oklahoma for the day on Friday. Now, rainfall forecast shows that totals will be ranging from less than ½ an inch here across western and central Oklahoma to possibly as much as 1.5 inches to 2 inches here across the eastern portion of the state. Now, switching gears a little bit, we're going to be setting our clocks back 1 hour at 2 a.m. on Sunday. So if you've been getting used to that later sunset through the summer months, unfortunately, we're going to be pushing that sunset back to 5:30 p.m. So definitely going to be getting dark earlier. Now, hour-by-hour forecast this evening shows 70s dipping down into the 60s as we head through the evening, and then lows tonight dipping down into the 50s for much of us, with a couple of 40s tucked in there as well. Highs tomorrow will rebound into the mid to upper 70s once again, and this will continue for the next couple of days before we will be talking about a rain chance returning for portions of the state on Thursday, with scattered thunderstorms likely on Friday across much of the state, with that severe chance here in Norman. And then Saturday and Sunday shaping up to be beautiful days under sunny skies, temperatures in the 60s and 70s. And then the 70s continue as we head into the next week under sunny skies. So Stone and Addie, it's shaping up to be a beautiful weekend. Over to you.
Thanks, Brayden. The campus mums are at peak bloom this week. OU Nightly's Noah Mack is live from the South Oval to tell us how landscaping celebrated.
Well, Addie, earlier today on the South Oval, we had the entire landscaping crew here. There was a bucket truck here sending photographers up, taking picture of this beautiful campus. And I talked to some of the landscaping people, and they said that today, although this was an annual tradition, today was a little different.
Today, photographers finally get to capture that iconic view of the South Oval mums. But getting them to look like this wasn't easy.
I'm happy they turned out as well as they did, because it was such a trying year with the heat, and we had bugs, and we had spider mites, and we had water issues, but we still made it.
They really took their color on a lot better this year, I think. And so I think it was a big deal for them.
The mums aren't the only ones going through a hard time this year. OU Landscaping has experienced some leadership changes this year, as well as issues from layoffs and budget cuts still lingering from years past. But today is a turning point. They revived another tradition.
1, 2, 3.
The landscaping group photo.
Well, we used to every year, and then we just quit doing it, and then all of a sudden this year they decided, hey, let's do a picture again.
Senior landscape specialist Tammy Mitchell says she hopes today will bring the department closer together.
because they helped me plant this. So they are part of it too, not just me. So it kind of tightened that bond a little bit, I hope.
Mitchell told me that this was just the icing on the cake for the work that they've been doing all semester. Reporting from campus live, Noah Mack, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Noah. OU football is back home this weekend to take on a powerful Baylor offense.
Plus, OU volleyball, women's gymnastics, and soccer are reaching new heights. Jimmy, what can you tell us about the women of OU athletics?
The reigning national champions find out who stands in their way from another ring, and Baylor comes to town with their bowl game hopes on the line. Hear what the Sooners have to think about that right after this. Hello, I'm Jimmy Wicks, and it's time for sports. OU hosts Baylor on Saturday, and both of their teams have their pro goal games hanging in the balance. Brent Venables and company are locked in on the reigning Big 12 champs.
Got another tremendous challenge, defending Big 12 champions in Baylor. They're playing really well right now. Same record as we have in overall record at 5-3. Coach Aranda's done a terrific job in his third year there. Their 3 losses this year have come by a combined 20 points.
We're making our layups, and that's the main thing, man. Just earlier in the year, we were missing the big plays that other teams would get, were just because we weren't making our easy plays. So now that we started to make our layups, starting to force teams to be more one-dimensional in a sense and find different ways to beat us. Now that we're doing that, man, it opens up a lot more people to make plays.
And just like the win down the Oklahoma Plains, OU soccer swept the Big 12 weekly awards. Sophomore Sheridan Michelle was named to the All-Big 12 second team, and Hallie Hartman and Alexis Washington take home all-freshman team honors. And coming off their first 5-set win of the season, Taylor Preston was named Big 12 Freshman of the Week for the first time in her career. Last week, Preston led the conference in kills, points, and points per set. The reigning national champion OU women's gymnastics released their schedule for their upcoming season today. The tough but exciting lineup includes LSU, Utah, and Florida. And the Thunder rolls along in their NBA season. The Thunder tip off tonight in the Paycom Center and host the #1 pick Paolo Banchero in the Orlando Magic. If the Thunder could win tonight, they'll have a winning record for the first time since January 10th of 2020. And after the inclement weather in Philadelphia, the World Series returns tonight. Like a thief in the night, the Phillies stole one in Houston and now host the Astros for the next 3 games. On Sooner Sports Pad, we spoke to a couple OU baseball players on their thoughts on the series.
Because I'm a Dodger fan, and cheaters for sure, so I'm going with Philly all day.
Talk to him, that's one. Diego? I'm a Yankees fan, and I hate Houston, too. Yeah. That's 2, that's 3-1. That sounds like a series win to me.
I'm with Sebastian and Diego on this one. Count me in on the Phillies. Addie, Stone, what about y'all?
Jimmy, I'm going to have to agree with you guys as well. I just can't root for Houston after that 2017 trash can incident.
And, you heard Sebastian. He's a Dodger fan. I am too. And if the Dodgers aren't in it, I guess I'll take the Phillies as well. Well, last night was a Halloween Powerball drawing, and one Oklahoma man got a special treat.
That's right, a winning lottery ticket, making him a millionaire. Stick around to find out just how much he won.
I'm Snowforth at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Today, more than 200 new Oklahoma laws go into effect. A few include that renters can now legally make home repairs if the landlord hasn't fixed it within 2 weeks. Self-driving vehicles are allowed on state roadways, and for women, insurance companies are required to cover mammograms ordered by doctors. Addie, Stone.
Thanks, Snow. One lucky man from Oklahoma City got $2 million richer today.
Ronald bought the ticket from a homeland on Northwest 122nd Street. A news release says he was drinking coffee when he learned of his good fortune this morning.
Ronald also said he buys Powerball tickets every once in a while, but never expected to win.
Well, hopefully we'll get lucky with some nice weather. Brayden, can we get a last look at this week's forecast?
Yeah, Stone and Addie, this evening temperatures are looking very pleasant. So 70s by 5 and 6 p.m., which will be dipping down into the 60s as we head through the rest of the evening. And the 7-day forecast shows that storm system is expected to move in on Thursday and Friday, bringing the potential for some severe weather before much nicer weather returns by this weekend into next week. Back to you.
Thanks, Brayden, and thank you for tuning in to OU Nightly.
We're live every weekday at 4:30 from Gaylord Hall. Good night.